Okay, now we're going. Now I'm not going to stop in between, so. Where's your sheet at for me, Levi? Thank you, sir. But we can't do two-sided. You just killed twice as many trees today as you needed to.
I tried. It's almost printed out a bunch of pictures of brains and stuff.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm presenting G-Skill memory. I'm presenting the fastest business memory and the cheapest gaming memory. Highly recommended. We were founded in 1989. Our headquarters is in Taipei, Taiwan. In 2003, the company viewed it as a maker of computer memory.
How did you pronounce debuted?
We're a private company. Our resellers and distributors include Newegg, Amazon, iBuyPower, CyberPower PC, ABA Direct, Elegant Northwest, and Chico. This is Taipei, Taiwan, in north of Taiwan. G-Skill achievements. We produce the world's fastest RAM. G-Skill's Trident X memory is DDR3 and has 3900 megahertz. All G-Skill memory comes with a lifetime warranty. Again, I am presenting the fastest business memory and the cheapest game. My business motherboard is the Gigabyte GA H97N D3H. And my gaming motherboard is the Gigabyte G3 GA X99. This is one of the motherboard specification slides, and this shows the memory that it supports, the type of memory.
Okay, so which generation of RAM does yours support?
DDR3.
And, okay, why did you give yourself, well, you didn't square yourself in that. You did, you underlined it.
It said 5 and 5. Like I
You
understood
thought you'd
it.
take that 5 instead of this 5, you know that's just a typo, it's supposed to be 4. Okay.
Fastest business, I picked the Ripjaw F3. It's a 240 pin DDR3 SD RAM. It's 4 gigabyte, 2 times 2 gigabyte sticks. DDR3 1600, PC3 12800. The cast latency is 9. Voltage is 1.5. It's dual channel, 1600 megahertz, and it is not easy.
Nope. No touchy. Gold or tin contacts?
Oh, good.
Used high quality. That's right. You can find it anymore. Anyway, just so you guys know, it used to be prevalent to have gold or tin, but the speed of memory has increased so much. I don't know if they even make it tin anymore, quite honestly, just because contact has to be so much better for the higher speed of RAM. I haven't seen it in probably 2 years that they had it. So access time and bandwidth you could not find. Okay.
Only $42.99 in Newegg.
Oh, I forgot to copy the cost. So there should be another cost column. I was editing this one in 5 seconds. So there should have been a cost 1 and a cost 2. So, okay, it should take us through your link. $42.99. It seems actually pretty reasonable for 4 gig of DDR3 1600. Okay,
This timing is
we're gonna talk about it here actually. In fact, you guys are all done. obviously read and calculated your stuff with.
The cheapest gigabyte, this is the gigabyte GA, it's 99. These are the specifications. It supports DDR3.
What? Okay. You're gonna take us to that gaming motherboard. I don't remember you presenting them to DDR4 back when you presented the motherboard. Do you remember that?
These
Yeah,
the
let's
Control
change that
F4.
slide, they might still slide up, but I think it did.
No. 288 pin DDR4 SD RAM. It's 8 gig and it's 2 times 4. It's DDR4 2400 pin. 2400. PC4. It has 1.2 voltage. Latency. Gas latency is 15. It's dual channel, 2400 megahertz, and it's RSC with gold content. Only 114.
Okay, go ahead and take us to the site, and then while we're there, we're gonna look for your motherboard. Not that I don't believe you, but I don't believe you. You could be right, it's just, I don't remember when you presented the motherboard that was DDR4. So I'd like you to do your motherboard, just put it up there. Yeah. Just go down the specifications. DDR4, look there. Boom! I did not remember a single one of you guys presenting that gave me the DDR4 number. Okay, and support squad channel, but you brought us dual. Thanks. Appreciate that. It's the way it's that. I was kidding, you're supposed to go the cheapest. So that was the cheapest 8 gig of DDR4 out there. I believe you, it's brand new. I mean, it just came out this year, so. In fact, I thought there were only servers. I didn't know that they had any gamer ones done for you. Okay.
We're excited.
What?
Yeah, that is ridiculous, isn't it?
I don't even see an address. I don't see an address on there. You have all that stuff and you have no address? All that and there's no website address?
Yeah, every time I forget that, I forget to include the addresses.
Right. Right. And every time I'll say something, it's computer class, and website addresses mean something. To me.
I'll put it in there.
To me. Okay. Anybody got any questions for Levi? I'm going to knock you off one for your red on the PowerPoint. Actually, no, that would be on the text. Other than that, actually, it was pretty good, Levi. The only thing I would say is you gave us extraneous facts on your motherboard. I would take that one motherboard slide and just say memory supported up top and just give us the stuff that we asked for. Generation 4th. I mean, it's all on there. Just delete all the other stuff and kind of spread out the stuff that's important. You know, memory supported, DDR4, frequencies supported. What 3,000 to whatever, I don't remember what they were on yours, and then amount supported 32 gig, 8 times 4, actually 4 times 8 gig sticks max, quad channels. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we want to know that relates the motherboard to the memory. The rest of it didn't matter right now, right? Because we're here to buy memory, not here to buy a CPU. So that's why on the original presentation, I was like, hey, make separate ones on these so you can just pull them over, because when you mush them together, then when you pull it over, you give us stuff that doesn't 100% apply. I'm not saying I would take off points for that. It's just if you were actually presenting to somebody on something like this, stuff they didn't ask for, it's just in the way of our concentrating on what we did ask for and what was not. So sometimes extraneous stuff detracts from things. And then debuted, is that what you said? Debuted instead of debuted.
No, I did not.
Debuted. So 100% what you said.
I didn't say
debuted.
I didn't say
Okay.
butted. I said muted.
Debuted. Okay. Debuted was originally aired, showed, started on. I thought you were giving your birthday for a second. I thought, and we originally debuted on. I thought you were. I was like, what? And I was like, it doesn't matter. That was when you were born. So anyway, no other questions? Volunteers? Volunteers? Okay, your honor wins.
You never said is the timing the same as the next system?
No, we're going to talk about it after all of them to see if anybody's got it. And then we're going to talk about the time. I'm not going to just help you on your presentation.
Well, I'm not gonna fix it.
How fair would that be?
I put the timing on the box.
You guys do not need a new reader on your desktop. What things on your desktop do you wish you were reading? New reader. Probably a bunch of stuff. It's doing too much thinking. Okay, where's yours at? Okay, Mr. Harris, we are ready.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Harris, and I'm a representative at Corsair. Founded as Corsair Microsystems in 1994, Corsair originally developed Level 2 cache modules for OEMs. After Intel incorporated the L2 cache processor with the release of its Pentium Pro processor family, Corsair changed its focus to DRAM modules, primarily in the server market, and its headquarters is in Fremont, California. Motherboards for memory. Today we'll be looking at a fast RAM for a home PC and a cheap RAM for a gamer PC. And the requirements.
Hold on, go backwards. I'm sorry. I was distracted. I apologize. Go back over. What else did you say about Corsair? Is that it? Is that the whole slide? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. I was pulling the belly there. It phased out. So, go ahead.
Here is the
Make some coffee.
motherboard. Specs, maximum memory support is 16 gigabytes. Standard memory is DDR3 1600. That's 2 by 2 or 40.
Okay, so it holds 16. Generation is okay, third generation DDR, right? And then what different frequencies does it work? Just 1600?
Yeah, it's just
Nothing else. I think we went through this on your motherboard, didn't we? That I go, there's no way it just supports 1600. You go, no, it does. And I'm like, it did. I think I remember that. That's very strange. We have a picture. Motherboard.
down the back.
Go back one. Did we? Oh, okay. We could put all that on one slide. Okay.
Here's the first memory. Specifics, that's a 240 pin DDR3 SD RAM. It's got 2 sticks of 2 gigabyte. That's speed is DDR3 1600. Cast latency is 9. Timing is 99924. 1.65 volts. Non-ECC. It's a dual channel kit. It also comes with a heat sink. And definition: cast latency is the delay time between the moment the memory controller tells the memory module to access a particular memory column on the RAID module.
Is it delay time? Where did you get that definition?
Literally from
Is it? We're going with that. Later. Okay.
price is $52.99 free shipping.
$52.99. And this was your cheapest for home, fastest for home? Which you only take one time, it's okay. Fastest. Clickety click. I want you to put in your Google bar, what is cast latency? And that is the correct definition. It's number of clock cycles that pass when instruction is given to criteria of the moment. Now, you can convert it into time, but it's not a time. It's not a nanosecond. It's not a millisecond. It is cycles, which lower means less time, right? But the only way to convert it into time is to take the number of megahertz, or right, millions of cycles per second, and divide the cast latency in there, and then you end up with how many nanoseconds it takes. But, you know, so really, your definition is slightly off. It's kind of, whoever wrote that one, we should email them. Say, you cost me a point on my presentation, thanks, sucker. Okay, go ahead.
Here's the gaming motherboard.
Oh, go ahead.
That's a wrong picture, by the way.
I would hope so, because there's only one PCI Express slot on there, and we
Yes.
wouldn't have approved that as a gaming motherboard.
Yeah, it was a wrong picture, but I did update it.
What do you mean you did update it?
I updated it, but I guess it didn't go through. The real picture is right there, but that's a bad picture.
Yes, okay. If you uploaded the exact same name PowerPoint, it wouldn't update it. See, that's why you have to cycle the names on and make it B, C, D, or something. Just see. Okay.
Memory standard DDR3, it supports all those. Max memory is 64 gigabytes, it's dual channel, and it's 4 by 4.
Okay, we're going cheapest gamer, is that what this one is? So this one takes 64 gig.
Yes.
I can't tell because that's such
Yeah.
a quality photo. But are there 4 spots on there?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the gaming memory. It's 240 pin DDR3 SD RAM. It's got 2 8 gigabyte sticks. Speed is DDR3 1866. Cast latency is 9. Timing is 9:10, 9:27. 1.5 volts, non-ECC, and dual channel kit. Price is $154.99.
That was the cheapest you could find?
All was like 170, 180.
Really? cheapest Corsair. That's true. You had to stick with the company name. Corsair is not the cheapest one. Although I would say I've never had a Corsair sticker back. So, yeah. And most of them are good. I only buy ones that have lifetime warranties because when they do go bad, I send it back. But it's limited. It's always limited lifetime. We don't make that stick anymore. It's like it's not what you said. So whenever they say lifetime, it doesn't mean for your lifetime. It means for the lifetime that they still make that sticker. Now, if you were going for the cheapest query, why did you 2.8 instead of 2.4? If you were, since the gamer, you had the choice of 8 or 16 gig.
It's just, it fit.
You're just like, I am not doing an 8 gig.
Yes.
It's too bad. It's a gamer. I'm doing 16.
Yes.
By the way, 16 to 32 just not that. 32 might be just not. There's a point where you got just wasting right now. So. Anyway, go ahead. How much would you say 154 hours? The title on that is NPND Web.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
I don't even know.
What?
They did that for a free one.
Well, you gotta fill it in though. You can go back and type in stuff if EasyBib can't figure it out. It's like, if EasyBib can't figure it out, it just doesn't get a name. I mean, that's just the name of the web page. So there's something, I mean, what's NPND Web? Oh. That would be, it's from Newegg. Don't know. Okay, any questions? We got any questions for him? I couldn't read everything. Is that your call-in associate? She's got a long head. You skewed her picture there.
Yeah.
Either you squished her in to make her look thinner, or you squeezed her head. She's too much.
It's on this tape.
Anything? Questions? We'll let Billy go, and then we're going to talk a little bit about timing and look at some of the articles that you guys read and see if we can figure out some of those things you couldn't find. Excuse me. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. You should have it installed.
My name is Billy Lehman, and I'm from G-Skill. G-Skill and G-Skill was established in 1989. We're a computer hardware manufacturing company. Our headquarters are located in our products include computer memory, solid state drives, and flash drives. Today I'm here to present two different codes of memory from G-Skill International. Today I begin to begin with, I'll present the cheapest memory for from G-Skill for one PC, and I'll get to show you the best memory for G-Skill for a gamer. Today I'll be showing memory that will run the MSI 970 G300. That is 4240 pin DDR3, dual channel and max capacity of 32. Cheapest memory.
You're going too fast for me. Excuse me. Go back a slide. Try it. Okay, so there's our home, and you said we're doing cheapest home? Okay, sorry.
It's non-ECC tested, so 240 pin DDR3 SD RAM, capacity of 2 GB, speed 13.2. cost is $19 for shipping.
That is cheap. Okay.
Fastest memory for the my game motherboard was an MSI AAX G45 motherboard. It was 4x240 pin DDR3. That's also 64 gig.
The max capacity, 64. I'm sorry, my brain just said. I was like, what? 48? What are you talking? Okay, sorry.
Fastest memory. His timing was 11, 13, 14, 31, non-ECC, Cascade State 11, 240 pin DDR3 SD RAM, capacity was 60 gigabyte, 2x8, again speed of 20 megabytes. Cost was 118.1.
Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing? Did you end up finding the cheapest? Yours is 8 gig though. You did 16 and you did 16. And you did 8? So much cheaper. Nothing's wrong. You're wrong. Oh, sure. I'm teasing us. 119 now or 239?
239 now.
Sure that's the same one? That's 60. Didn't you do your PowerPoint? I was.
60.
Oh, okay.
Maybe go back to it.
Yeah, go back to it. So it's really 239. It's too bad they don't have, did you do a screen capture on first? You know, it's unfortunate there's no historical price button or anything you can look at. Oh wait, go down. Ah, right there. It was 119.
So I did.
That sucks. That's a lot more expensive. 119 was a good deal. It's twice as much now. They doubled the price. Woohoo! I was just gonna say it's too bad they don't have a historic price thing. They don't want you to know when it goes up and down. Because then you'll go, well, I'm waiting for it to be 119 again. Because it will be, maybe. And theoretically, when it does that, I always check Tiger Direct because they're always fighting each other on price, and they're usually a day off. Same thing with Amazon. You'll see them fighting on prices. So when somebody goes up, the other guys will go up too, but you might still be able to get the deal. I'm good.
And 99 cent shipping restrictions.
No, it's free now for $240. Why do we have cited and then works cited? Why did it just say works cited up top?
Oh, because I copied it from.
And see, yours looks so much nicer than some people's. I have to make sure I give Billy full credit for the citations. Make sure you guys click these views for 1 point for not having it look as nice as Billy's does. Oh wait, no, he is works cited. I guess I can be fair with you. Which I thought. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. Your guys' presentation was right. I'm nervous about second block because they emailed me 5 billion questions during the process of this. So I don't know. Let's see. In the RAM timing article. I think it's in here. So the things that we didn't find. it's not in one of the ones I gave you, in which case it's not a big deal. What was that? What did I thought it was? I don't think it's in this one.
They were record cool videos with the blue ball.
What?
They were record videos with the blue ball.
I haven't in a long time. I used to.
Should do one really right on the beach.
My son did one Star Wars one all the time. They had Tatooine in the background. He was dressed up and stuff. It was fun. It was like went up and he was running by and stuff in the desert, and then the other one would come by in the Darth Vader outfit and he was chasing him. Oh, dang it, I thought I had to write it in an article there, that's why I was like, you should have read your stuff, but I thought it was one, I just clicked on this one, didn't I? And that was the one, yeah, I actually did that one, because it didn't have it there anyway. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, it's the same time that we're talking about with the latency, just so you know. But I was trying to show you where it was. So if you calculate, let's do a calculation. In fact, I'll bring that right to the article where it says how you figure out the access time. And access time is how long it takes to get to information, and how to get stuff off, which is really the calculated cast latency as a measure of time instead of a measure of clock cycles. So, is that the orange symbol there? It is, okay. So we need to know what the speed of memory is and the clock cycles that it is. So first thing we would do is figure out, for instance, let's go to some of these, we use some of these. So it was intended to be something that you did as math, but I mean, it was there, but it wasn't. Let's go and look at Mr. Haas's, since he's not here, and look at his first one. Okay. Yeah.
This is, I think it's
So just have his motherboard uploaded into the memory presentation. Does this look good? Does it? Okay, well, we want to pull up next. Okay, we'll go ahead and use this one as our. Let's see, notepad, so we have somewhere to write. So we'll use his information right here to figure out the access time. Okay, so starting with that as a base point, let's go through and figure out the rest of the stuff. Okay, so if this DDR is moving at 1600, okay, 1600 megahertz, okay, then we have to figure out how long it takes for one clock cycle. Okay, so that is cycles per second. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the whole thing. So it's 16,000,000 cycles per second. So if I wanted to turn that into just seconds, I just invert it, right? To flip that over. Okay, so I just put it under 1, and we're going to come out with a nanosecond. And I have to do that. I'm not even trying to do that in my head. So I'm going to use my calculator and do 1 divided by 16,000,000,000. I missed 3 zeros, didn't I? So if I change that into nanoseconds, we're looking at, is that 0.65? 6. That'd be 0.65. 0.6. I think that's right. 0.625 nanoseconds is how long it takes for 1 clock cycle. Okay? And then since his takes 9, you would take that times 9 equals, and we come out with 5.6 nanosecond access time. Okay? So the faster the motherboard will make this number smaller, okay? And then multiply that by the clock cycles, or your cache latency, and you end up with an actual time that it takes to access stuff in memory. So that's how quick your memory is. And that's what you could have done, but I wouldn't care to instruct that, so it's not like, I'm not going to take any points for that. I just want you to understand how you come up with that. So that was 1,600, and I was supposed to turn this into millions, so I was missing when I did this. It should have been 000,000,000. That's why I did that calculator, because it was 1,600 millions, right? Or 1.6 billion would make more sense than 1.6. 9 zeros, should be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9, that's 1.6. Does that kind of make sense then? How you kind of figure out cycles? That's why you can't. That's why I said you can't just compare cache latencies on different speeds of RAM. Really, you would want to compare the access time if you wanted to make it a straight comparison between two. Okay. So, like if you had 2 sticks of RAM, let's go to 2 different sticks of RAM. We'll do Nick's 2 sticks of RAM. We'll do the other one too, just to figure this one out as well. Is this one? Are we looking at a different speed of RAM? So this is 1866. So the cache latency, well, actually, so they've got the same latency on both of them. 9 and 9. Well, that's not a good comparison because obviously the faster one is going to be one. So let's, do you understand what I'm saying? That's why, that one, you got the same latency, but one sticks faster than the other one. Let's just go and grab 2 different ones and do it. That one's 1600, cache latency 9, cache latency 10. Let's see if I can find 2. 1866, cache latency 9. 1866. Okay, and we're going to compare these two. Okay, so they're both DDR3. We've got 8 gig. We're not going to worry about this. The amount. We're just going to look at which one makes sense that it's going to be faster. So I'm going to stick this in my notepad here. So we've got 2 different sticks. This one is 1866 cache latency 10. This is 2400 cache latency 11. And then we'll do the math to see which one's actually faster RAM, okay? So the one with the lower access time is gonna be faster. So we're gonna do the 1866. I'm gonna do it without the zeros, since we know that it's gonna convert to nanoseconds anyway, so put my calculator back up here. So if I do 1 divided by 1866 times 10, we're going to end up with 5.3 nanoseconds, okay? So that's 5.3. Is how nanoseconds. It's how long it's going to take to access the memory there, okay? And then we'll do the other one. We'll do 1 divided by 2400 times 11 equals, and this one's going to be, what did I get, 4.5, is that what it said? 4.5. Okay, so 4.5 nanoseconds, which we would expect. We would expect this one to be faster because it's noticeably higher megahertz, right? 1866 versus 2400. So that slightly higher cast latency, which this is worse, right? It takes one more cycle, but the cycles are enough faster that it's still going to access the memory at a faster rate than this one, okay? But I guarantee you that if we looked at enough sticks, we would be able to find a slower speed of memory that was better than a faster stick. Because if you, for instance, if this cast latency had been 13, say, we'll do the exact same one and say, and just hypothetically say it's cast latency of 13. If we do 1 divided by 2400 times 13, all of a sudden we're at 5.4. And then this 2400 megahertz of RAM is slower than that one. Okay? That's why when people say, this number is the only one that's important, is what you'll hear individuals say, that it's just about the speed. It's not just about the speed. So you can see, I mean, it would have been faster, it cast latency 11 or 12, this one's still going to be faster. Okay, but as soon as I get to 13, now this one, because it's taken enough more clock cycles than this one, that this one actually is slower than this one, even though the memory is theoretically faster. Okay, does that make sense? I don't expect you guys, and most people don't, go and calculate this whenever they look at memory. You're not going to go, oh. But if all of a sudden you see these a disparity in these by a couple, it might be worth it looking at it. Okay? If I was overclocking to this one, and it had a cast latency of 13 versus regular clock with this one, I would definitely want to go with this one. Its access time is faster, and overclocking, in my experience, can lead to unstable performance on your system. So I'd rather have a non-overclocked system with a faster access time than an overclocked system that the only thing I'm getting is a theoretical faster, but it's still taking longer if it takes that many more clock cycles. Okay? So it's just 1 divided by the megahertz times the cast latency, and then you figure out the zeros, but normally it's some number in nanoseconds. Okay? And even if we were off by a decimal point, would it really matter because they'd both be off by a decimal point, right? So it's still, this one's faster the way it is, but if cast latency is just 2 numbers different, all of a sudden it's slower. Okay? Okay, I'm going to stop. We're almost at the end of the day. Yep.